33 victories, 21 by KO, against 3 defeats with 3 draws, fighting out of the Big Apple, New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Hector Acero Sanchez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trimmed with green and white, weighing 120½ pounds. His professional record, a perfect 22-0 with 18 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tijuana, Mexico, presenting the NABF Super Bantamweight Champion, Terrible Morales.
JD is the referee for this important fight.
Remember, there is no standing 8 count. This is for the NABF. 12 rounds. Good luck and let's go to work.
Well, all the fans who packed the arena here, the Latin fans, will be very heavily into this one. Morales from Tijuana in Mexico, still a teenager. Sanchez, 30 years old, from the Dominican Republic, but as you saw, now based in the Bronx, New York.
Anytime, okay?
Can Morales
okay
cut it against the former world champion? This will tell us most things we probably need to know about Erik Morales. The hot property in the red trunks. Sanchez, the former world champion. Morales has a quite upright style. Sanchez, slick, defensively capable. Lost his title to Daniel Zaragoza at the end of last year. That was on a split decision. Zaragoza was nearly 38 at the time. Good left hook from Morales. Obviously carries a bit of a bang, high knockout percentage. Sanchez getting through with the left hook. And again, fast hands, the man from the Dominican Republic.
Yes, they're both fast. They're also both very tall, very rangy. As you look here, quite similar styles.
Morales, who calls himself Erik Morales, in the fashion of Terrible Tim Witherspoon. That was a good left hook, but Terrible, of course, in North American or Latin circles, meaning terrible to fight, of course, not terrible to watch, we hope, anyway.
Well, he showed a bit of his skill there with that right uppercut followed by the left hook. Morales just keeps his head a little high. He's a very upright type fighter.
Quick on the counter there. Sanchez tried to drive home his jab. Fast hands, this Morales. Been a pro since he was 16. He's only 19 now. One of Morales' victims was Enrique Angeles, who Prince Nassim Hamed dispatched inside 2 rounds. He lasted the full distance with Morales.
Sanchez has that very wide stance where he's trying to get in and he gets the extra reach, but also it's very difficult to get out.
Thank you.
Nice elusive skills there from Sanchez. Massive night this for Morales, who gets in with the right hand. Highly touted youngster. Certainly be the biggest win on his record if he could win it. I think he won that first round all right.
Lucky Charms make people feel secure and confident.
For the biggest fight of his life. The golden boy, the brilliant young talent. But a massive fight here against Julio Cesar Chavez. What a prospect it is. Pretty good fight in the ring as well here. The NABF Super Bantamweight title fight with Erik Morales here defending this title against former world champion Hector Acero Sanchez in the black trunks.
Yes, Morales maybe just getting the better of the first round, but certainly not a lot in it. And both men were impressive in the way they looked to put their punches together.
I suppose the question has to be with Hector Acero Sanchez at the age of 30 and losing to Zaragoza, is he now on the down slope? Is Morales catching him maybe at just the right time? Or was that world title defeat only a blip for Sanchez? Will he reassert himself here? Really is a good win that. He won the WBC title against Tracy Harris Patterson on a split decision a couple of years back. And a successful first defense too against Julio Chavez.
So really that shows his form, that shows his class. It also shows how much they think of this Morales, to pitch him in so young with a fighter's experience to Sanchez.
Good counter-punching there from Sanchez. He was made to miss Morales and made to pay a fairly heavy price for it.
There's a good combination Sanchez landed there. He really rattled them punches in very quick. And I think that'll just make Morales think a little.
He's already learning, Morales, that mistakes at this higher level will be punished much more rapidly and thoroughly.
Yes, and you just get the feeling this could be a real test of character for the youngster Morales.
Wait, step back.
Quite slippery, Acero Sanchez.
Yes, you see the way he rolls with the punches there. Certainly very capable defensively.
Better head movement from Acero Sanchez in this round. He's making Morales miss a lot more.
And he's landed some good plays, and especially that good combination early in the round, which he really rattled the punches in. And just being a little more cautious now, Morales, after that combination.
Good jab from Acero Sanchez. Just setting Morales one or two interesting questions.
In case your guts they are not made of steel, we have the salts and results. Sí.
Te quiero más para el otro side.
Morales, two other Mexicans, by the way, hold world titles at this weight, Marco Antonio Barrera and Daniel Zaragoza. And Morales would hope to join them. I suppose it's not altogether impossible that he could be a future opponent up at featherweight. He's a big guy for Prince Nassim Hamed, but that is pure conjecture on our part. He's in the red trunks, the teenager. Sanchez did much better in the second round, and both Glenn and I gave it to the former world champion, so we've both got it level at the moment. This is round 3. Due to go 12 rounds for the NABF title. But it's not the time really that's the important thing here.
And again, you see the skills of Sanchez on the retreat there. And you just get the feeling he's going to make Morales think in this fight. He's very capable, very experienced, and as you can see, he's certainly not a finished fighter.
All the threes in Acero Sanchez's record, 133, drawn 3. So this is fight number 40 for him tonight, just the 23rd for Morales. Morales is finding it very, very difficult to catch him cleanly.
Yes, it's not easy. Very good defensively, Sanchez. He just can't pin him down. He's trying with the uppercuts as Sanchez comes in, but just can't quite get a hold of him.
Morales' people have obviously decided to take this gamble. They obviously think Sanchez, a great name to have on the record, it would be the big breakthrough fight, pitch Morales right up there into world class, but it is a gamble. Acero Sanchez will have heaps of pride, and he'll be wanting to put the young whippersnapper in his place, so to speak.
Yes, and you would feel that as the fight goes on, Sanchez will gain in confidence. I think maybe he had a few doubts that the youngster would come out and really jump onto him, but he hasn't. He's thinking about it now, Morales. He's trying to look for his way in, but all the time Sanchez is countering well, using defensive skills, as we see there, turned his man beautifully, and just picking away with the jab.
Just a slip there, but a wee bit embarrassed, Morales, and at the moment frustrated, I think. Sanchez is giving him all kinds of angles, and it's almost like an eel with that right hand just nailed him for a moment. But it was a rare success for Morales over the last couple of... Oh, that Took got through. Took got through too. Two good shots from Morales in the last 15 seconds of the round.
Tell you what, I'll be going in the cut and you be gasser. No, I'll be going in the cut and you be gasser. No.
But it was just about all he did in the round.
It was, and I think he's going to have to do this at times. He's going to have to take a few risks to get in through these good defensive skills of Sanchez. But he managed just at the end of the round to break through that barrier and land a couple of decent punches to Sanchez.
Fourth round coming up. Glad to tell you it's cooled down here now. It's only 102 degrees. Glenn's done a quick calculation and tells me that's 38.9 degrees centigrade. Thanks, Glenn.
You're welcome here anytime.
Sanchez, the former WBC world champion at this weight, as recently as last autumn in the black trunks. Morales, the 19-year-old hot property in an acid test fight. Clubbing right hand from Acero Sanchez was just about the only thing that landed in that rally.
Sanchez has come out in this round to take the fight to Morales, trying to push him back and get him with these choppy shots that he throws.
Just looks a little bit open defensively, doesn't he, Morales? His gloves are low and he's a wee bit sort of upright and stiff for my liking.
He's a very uptight fighter, very sort of stiff, not a good deal of waist or head movement, which is unlike a lot of the Mexican fighters who often do come in with a bit of a crouch and have good head movement.
Because he hasn't got that nice sort of languid, fluid rhythm that you see from a lot of Latin fighters, right, rolling around from
just
the waist.
A little bit of a jerky style.
It's worked for him so far, though, but here he is on a much higher level. Hector Acero Sanchez is one of those kind of characters who makes it very, very difficult for you to score against him, and all the time he's just working away methodically himself, and he can just nick things away from you. Again, Morales is made to miss. Not that time. Right hand got through. That did shake up Acero Sanchez, who's in a spot of bother for just a moment. Head seems to have cleared.
Sanchez just looking to cling on there. He just looked a little bit distressed by that right hand.
And that is encouraging for Morales, although it's quite frustrating and he's finding it hard to nail the former world champion. When he does get through, he looks to carry a lot more power.
But a good thing I saw about Morales there was his patience. He didn't rush in. He realized that Sanchez had regained his control, and he just didn't take any chances. He's being patient and he's waiting his turn, which is very good for someone so young. And bide his time and showed a little bit of patience, Morales.
Seconds out.
Fifth round.
Stop. Time out.
Video 12. Jane Odie, the referee, not happy with something. Slight delay to the start of the round.
Time in. Box.
Gum shield wasn't in. 19-year-old Erik Morales from Tijuana in Mexico. Big shots, those from Sanchez. Sanchez, one of a family of 7 children born in a ghetto known as Devil's Island. Been boxing since he was 10 years old and literally fought his way out of the slums. Did so many former world champions before him, particularly those from Latin America.
Morales has been very patient. You can see he has a good deal of respect for Sanchez, and well he should be, because Sanchez is very quick, very good defensively. Look at the little dip of the knees there, made them 2 shots, missed wildly.
And Morales is trying to use lateral movement here and get in and away again. Change of strategy from the teenager, trying to box the craftsman. Is this the right tactics, do you think? I thought he was doing pretty as it was, really.
Well, I think he's just having a think about it here. He's just trying a few different things, see what works. He hasn't really managed to land with a series of good shots. Just having a bit of trouble with the defensive skills of Sanchez. So he's shown a little bit of experience here. Just trying a few things. I don't like him dropping his hands too much, allowing Sanchez them free shots.
I think he was trying to invite Acero Sanchez in and then counter punches.
That's right. He's looking for Sanchez to make the mistakes now. Just give Sanchez a little bit of confidence. He's finding it obviously difficult to get to Sanchez chasing him, so now just inviting him to have a go.
Quiet round, right hand counter from Morales, but left hook landed, but so did one from Acero Sanchez. Well, it was a phony war apart from the last 15 seconds that round.
Think you've got a voice like an angel or one that sounds like a drain? Well, let's hear it on the karaoke line. 10 different songs every week to croon to, scream to, squawk to, or completely annihilate. Call now and join in, or take a listen to the good, the bad, and the barking mad from last week. The karaoke line. Give it a call and let rip.
Welcome back. This is the Erik Morales corner. He's not old enough even to order a beer, but he reckons he's old enough to be a world champion.
Well, he's doing a pretty good job here. It's still a little bit of a chess match. He realizes that Sanchez is very smart and very cunning, and that's just how they're going. They're just waiting for each other to make a mistake.
Massive interest tonight in the Latin American boxers, and there's Jack Nicholson, who's always at ringside for the big fights. I was at the 1984 Olympics and he watched every single minute of every single bout. I kid you not. A real fan. Not only that, knew all about Steve Ovett and Seb Coe as well. 6th round. Acero Sanchez, the ex-WBC Super Bantamweight champion in the black trunks. The red of Morales. Morales, I would say, ahead at this point, wouldn't you, Glenn?
I've got Morales just a 1-point leader at this point. He's boxing very cautious. He's not making any mistakes. I think that's good against this type of fighter. But I'm sure at some point he'll let it all hang out. But I think first he wants to connect with a good punch.
We've got it 2 rounds to 1 for Morales with 2 even. That 2 even out of 5. I know that sounds like sitting on the fence. It's like that German judge who scored all 12 even once in a European title fight.
Very good body punching there from Sanchez, trying a few things of his own now.
Morales looking to line up the big shots. Acero Sanchez has seen most things before in a boxing ring. This is a big night for him too. Can't afford another defeat at this stage.
Sanchez using very good defensive skills in this round and just picking with enough counters to maybe be winning this round. Certainly he's making Morales use a lot of energy and missing punches.
I'm sure if Acero Sanchez was to win this, he will get a crack at Daniel Zaragoza again. Now, there is talk that Daniel Zaragoza is going to fight Wayne McCulloch, but I've heard that Wayne McCulloch is going to fight Duke McKenzie. Maybe he'll be telling us more about that. Maybe he won't. All this talk is very interesting. Ooh, good right hand there from Morales. And again. And again. The right hand's getting through, and the Mexican fancies it now.
This was definitely the legs buckled there, and you see as he goes back to the corner there, Sanchez in a little bit of trouble there.
Yes, he's just been shaken up. Yeah, look, they're trying to just pump a bit of life back into him. They look a bit worried in that corner.
They do. He definitely got a shock there. He got hit with a couple of good blows and choppy little right hands. And the legs certainly betrayed him. He kept his feet, but just as he walked back, there was that terrible wobble. That just happened there, I think, where the legs went. And they separated. Just there, look at his legs. Just sways off balance.
He just, I don't know, he looked out of it in the corner there, doesn't he? Acero Sanchez, he's a bit swollen around that left eye. And I think he was quite badly shaken up by those right hands. Dick Van Patten among those watching at ringside. One of the many actors watching at ringside. This is the 7th round. And I'd say at the moment, this is looking pretty good for Erik Morales. Maybe some of the stuffing was knocked out of Hector Acero Sanchez in that 6th round.
But so far I've been pleased with Morales, certainly impressed with his patience. But then when he sees this shot, he just really explodes with very quick hands.
Yet another Mexican superstar in the making, maybe, this Morales. Certainly the whole Latin fight scene very buoyant at the moment, as will be underlined later when we see the big fight, Chavez and De La Hoya, getting ever closer now. of Acero Sanchez's problems here is he doesn't really seem to have the weaponry himself in terms of power to shake up Morales.
That's right, and you can tell he's been hurt now because he's not really thrown anything back. He's been a little bit intimidated by the punching power, I think, of Morales. And he's just looking to be very, very defensive in this round.
Good right hand. Just setting this one up at the beginning, we described it as a kind of poor man's De La Hoya Chavez, but of course the difference between Hector Acero Sanchez and Chavez is Chavez carries a lot more power. Hands very low though, Morales. And you wouldn't really want to see him fighting like that against a more concussive hitter.
That's right, but so far he's shown very good reflexes and he's very quick with the counter punch. As we've seen, he carries a little bit of power in that counter as well.
Caught with a left hook. There's Morales there. But he really does look very strong. He looks so much bigger than Acero Sanchez. In fact, he is weighing 1.5 pounds lighter tonight. It's staying 8.5.
Yes, but he has is very, very lean, has a very big frame. So you wouldn't feel he'd stay at this weight for that much longer, especially as he's so young.
That's going to be the next fight you'll see here. Butterby in the kind of circus act heavyweight. Up against another of the journeyman opponents that they keep on digging up for him, this time George Clark. Butterby, remarkably, has become a minor celebrity. Pretty thin credentials.
Yes, it's not really for his boxing skills.
I was going to say, it's the only thing that is thin about him. 8th round here. And Erik Morales in the red trunks, the 19-year-old Mexican from Tijuana, at the moment looking in a pretty handy position here against Hector Acero Sanchez, and I think the difference really has been punch power, hasn't it, Glenn?
Yes, it doesn't seem as if he has the punch power to worry Morales Sanchez, and whereas Morales has that power. So he's becoming more and more negative, Sanchez.
Yes, he's throwing the jab, but even that is a sort of patter cake off balance kind of affair, isn't it, at the moment? He looks tentative. I won't use the word gun shy, but it's kind of halfway to being that.
Yes, Morales just getting closer and closer. He's very good defensively, Sanchez, but Morales you feel just starting to break him down very slightly.
Acero Sanchez doesn't look as lively and, dare I say it, not as ambitious either as he did earlier in the fight. I think those punches landed towards the end of the 6th round, I think it was. Those right hands were quite instrumental in changing the psychology here.
Again, Morales just going back to the boxing, just in and out, looking for the long jab. I think he's just trying to knock the head back, just to shake Sanchez up a little bit, and then he'll move into overdrive and look to unload.
Good right hand again from Morales. Gets through. Sanchez absorbed that one rather better. Again, a right hand looking to carry some power, gets through from the teenager.
Sanchez landing with the left hook, but the right hand from Morales looked a better punch.
not exactly elusive himself, though, is he, Morales? And that's maybe something to bear in mind in future form guides for fights down the road.
Because he is so very, very young to be pitched in at this level.
Young and very strong, and with quite a hurtful dig too.
Yes, and now he's starting to load up more and more with that right hand. And that was a good one to finish the round.
Morales just looking a bit swollen up around the face himself, mind you. And Sanchez you're looking at. He's had one fight since losing his title, a win over the ordinary Rafael Rodriguez, which was not too significant, just a rehabilitation exercise. How do you think he looks in that corner, Glenn?
He just looks a little pensive. He certainly is not busted with confidence. I think Morales is just slowly getting to him more and more with the right hands.
Just apologise for the temporary loss of pictures. About halfway stage in that fight, and it pretty much was a case of Erik Morales again adding to his growing reputation, and Barrera trying hard to stay with him, Barry.
Yeah, indeed. I thought that I did think that Sanchez was finding it difficult to get going, and Morales is just beginning to hit him and hurt him. Stronger, bigger guy, and beginning to impose himself. Has hurt Sanchez a couple of times. So let's have a look and see how that goes.
This is the live feed again. Thanks very much, Barry. Back to Glenn and Ian.
Thank you for that. Wish those meteors had stopped hitting the satellite like that. We have the pictures back. Round 9. Now, what can Hector Acero Sanchez do about this? Because things are rather falling away from him, quite in his career as well as in Morales' as we've said already.
Sanchez, you can just feel the confidence is just slowly going out of him every time a right hand like that lands from Morales.
He's pretty swollen up around the side of the face there too, Hector Acero Sanchez, the left-hand side of the face where those right hands have thudded home from the youngster. But I must say Morales doesn't impress me in the way that, say, a Marco Antonio Barrera does.
No, not at this point, but I think you've got to realise that how young he is. He's only 19. He's in with a very, very good fighter here. And he's not really going all out because he's been a little bit careful. But I think there's a lot more to say of Erik Morales.
Stiff left jab as well, and Hector Acero Sanchez seems to me has just gone further and further into his shell, become more and more negative. Psychological edge, not to mention the very real edge in terms of points, is certainly with the young Mexican. The force is with him here. That was a good shot too.
Sanchez still using good defensive skills. He has that good head movement. Just managed to move his head just a little to get out of the way of punches. And I'm sure that saved him a lot of punishment in this fight, that good defense.
3 times a national amateur champion as well, Sanchez. In the days before he started boxing for money, his defensive skills learnt in the amateur ranks. Sun still blazing down, even though the time here is now past 7 o'clock. Now Julio Cesar Chavez, he's relaxed, isn't he? Doing interviews on the way to the dressing room.
Very relaxed giving interviews. But he's been here so many times. More world title fights than any other boxer.
This is amazing. It looks to me like he's just sort of going off for a bit of supermarket shopping or something. Not a huge fight.
Well, he's a great fighter. I'm sure when it comes time to fight, he'll be 100% ready.
He has prepared superbly by all accounts and looked good in an open-air sparring session the other day. So we may see the old Chavez, and if we do, watch out De La Hoya. Soon find out. 10th round. Morales is pulling away here now. Notice that Jose Suleiman, the WBC president, has taken his ringside seat.
Well, I'm sure a points win will do Morales very nicely in this sort of quality of opponent. But I'm sure he would love to get the stoppage here. It really would put him right up there with the big names.
Oh, combination punches and then a left hook. And he's in trouble here, Acero Sanchez. Caught with 2 left hooks, in fact. And that was impressive from the young Mexican.
You see how quickly
back up and again, head reactions
change. You see how quickly his reactions changed there. He felt that he'd landed a good punch, quickly goes into overdrive. Some beautiful punches.
Yeah, I think you might be right about Morales. He may be a lot better fighter than he actually looks. He's got this kind of stiff, upright look about him, but we probably haven't got anywhere near the bottom of his talent.
That's right, and I think we have to remember that this was a massive gamble. This was a really risk fight they were taking, and he's doing so well here.
He's winning it easily, isn't he, at the moment?
Yes, very easily. Yeah, but he isn't with a very good defensive fighter. And I think it's only that defense that saved Sanchez.
Only 4 men have lasted the distance so far with Morales, who's beginning to load up. Sanchez trying to use his craft and know-how to somehow find a way back in, but it's just not happening for him.
And just walking onto the uppercut there, took the step forward, was going to gamble, but thought better of it when he was hit by that right uppercut from Morales.
No knockdown so far, but the suspicion that Hector Acero Sanchez has been shaken up a few times by the punch power of Morales. Looks like he had right hand there, Morales. Seemed to shake it.
Just looking at a little bit of pain as he went back to the corner there. There could be a bit of damage with the right hand. He's used that punch a great deal in this fight.
That eye, the left eye is closing. Sanchez. I think he'll last all right. Shane, maybe just have a close look at him.
There's the right hand, the left hook, and just then he fires into the aggressive. The reflexes were so good there when he sensed he had his man in trouble. Good defensive skills to get out of that, Sanchez.
Evander Holyfield among the many fight celebrities. Apparently he's signed up to fight Mike Tyson in the autumn, according to the story coming out of the United States this week. There's a lot of talk. Whether that fight actually happens, we shall see. It's an interesting one, though not as interesting as it would have been about 6 years ago, frankly. 11th round.
But it shows you the quality of the Chavez De La Hoya fight when great fighters like Holyfield want to be there to watch it live.
Well, I think it's a fight really, De La Hoya Chavez, that anyone who's remotely interested in boxing should see. It's a must-see fight, and we're very pleased to be bringing it to you on Sky Sports tonight. you're staying up, we think it'll be worth it. What am I talking about? If you're staying up, if they're watching this, they are. This is the 11th round, and early on it looked like the wily Hector and Acero Sanchez might be ready to cause Morales real problems, but I think Morales has started to skate away with it from a halfway point on, hasn't he?
Yes, it looked that way. In the first couple of rounds, it looked like Sanchez was maybe going to be a bit too much of a problem for Morales, but he's very patient, very calm, showed a good educated head for a fighter so young, and he's boxed very well. Took no real chances. He's reacted when he has to, but I think I've been quite impressed with his performance.
Good right hand, again disguised it well too, Morales. Has the slight reach advantage here. He's won a couple of fights this year. Already Morales, are keeping him quite busy.
The left hook was a good one there. He just seemed to stumble a little bit there, Sanchez, from that one.
Does begin to look as if this fight will knock Hector Acero Sanchez out of the world title picture for the time being. And he might find it pretty hard to get back in at 30. It's pretty late at this lighter weight. A little bit disorganized and wild as he went forward there, Morales. Maybe just tiring up a bit, I think. Less coming from him in this round. $11 gone, 1 to go. I have Morales in a big lead. How about you, Glenn?
Yes, a big lead. I think I've got him about 6 rounds ahead, so I think he's coasting this fight quite easily. He's never really looked in any danger from Sanchez since the very early part of the fight.
Now they're shouting at him to listen and pay attention.
This is the last round. Okay, the last round.
It's interesting that they tell fighters in the corner this is the last round. You do lose track, I guess. I mean, you'd know, Glenn.
Most definitely. When you're concentrating so much, you're not often thinking about what round it is. You're just thinking that what you've got to do in the next round.
Final round, they touch gloves.
I must say it's always a relief when you do hear it's the last round.
Sometimes, of course, they try to con fighters, don't they, in the corner by telling them it's the last round when it in fact is the second to last to make them lift the effort. Seen that happen.
That can be a real shock to the system when you realise you've got one more to go and you just give your whack.
Well, Acero Sanchez needs something dramatic here now. Morales looking very strong. Going to be a tough fighter to beat, you suspect. Nobody's done it yet in his pro career. One of his victims, Kenny Mitchell, the former WBO champion, he beat him in 2 rounds. Enrique Jupiter, in the Mexican title fight, he beat in 6. Enrique Angeles, the Naz victim I told you about, the full 12 rounds. And this one's going the same route by the look of it. never really looked in too much bother here, Morales, except possibly round about the third, fourth round when Sanchez just seemed to be making him miss a lot and outboxing him a little, but the clubbing right hands of the young Mexican have taken a lot out of Sanchez, only physically, but in terms of ambition in the fight, you feel.
That's right, and now he's just coasting in the last round. Just showing a few of his skills, a little bit of footwork there. Nice fast combination just a little earlier. I think he knows he's a big winner here. He's just enjoying it. You know, a very good experience fight for someone so young to step up class like this. You know, he needs these type of fighters. And if he can handle guys like this at 19, you know, what's he going to do when he's 24?
Again, that right hand. Last 25 seconds. And at the moment, Morales is resembling a horse in the derby, to use a topical analogy, that's coming home about 10 lengths clear.
Sanchez never really had the confidence to really have a last-ditch effort.
Well, Sanchez walks away, lifting up his hand as a cut by the right eye. Right again for Morales. Acero Sanchez. Well, this can only be some kind of phony bravado, really, from the former world champion. It didn't really look as if he believed it much himself. We have Morales a clear winner, but two judges from Nevada, one from Florida, will officially decide. Might they have seen it closer than we did, do you think, Glenn?
Well, I wouldn't think so. I would have thought Morales was a good, clear winner. But you can often be surprised by judges. He just looked in control. He was very patient. He was in with a tricky customer, a tough fighter in Sanchez, but never in any trouble, Morales. And I think he'll be a bit upset to pick up the cut in the last round.
Well, I've got him clear by a good 5 rounds, Alice. Maybe even a bit more than that. We'll see in a moment, as the scorecards are collated. Still to come here, Butterbean, the Mr. Blobby heavyweight, Chavez I. Hoya. Here we go.
And Bill Ray scores at 118 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, super bantamweight.
Erik Morales has got him. Big win for him by 7 points on one card and 8 on the other two. No dispute from Glenn and I. Morales ran away with it, and it's the biggest win of his career. He's still unbeaten, and Hector Acero Sanchez seems to have been knocked out of the big league, certainly for the moment.
One place in his life, the only time he's happy is when he's in the ring. That's the sort of fighter that he is.